Welcome, geometry students, to the homework help video, page 249. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's take a look at the directions. Use the figure at the right, which is this figure right here that I'm moving around, to complete the statement with greater than, less than, or equal to. So here we go. Okay, measure of angle BDE. Let's get my green pen here. BDE. So this angle here is, and there's also a given, I'm sorry. You're given that BE is greater than EG. So BE is greater than EG. So this length here, I'm gonna give it a number, okay, just to make it easier. I'm gonna call this 7 and this 4. I'm just gonna make those up, okay, so that we remember that BE is greater than EG. Okay, so this angle here, an angle EDG, this angle right here. Okay, so what do we know? What do we know about the red angle here, and what do we know about the black angle here? Well, watch carefully, guys. Okay, please watch carefully. Look, this side here is 16. Got it? And this side here is 16. Got it? So this side here is congruent to this side here. Now, this side here is congruent to itself. So I'm going to put a mark here. So we have angle side of one triangle, and side angle side of another triangle. And now listen, we know that this side here is larger than this side here. Now remember what we learned. We learned that whenever two sides of a triangle are congruent, and then the third side over here is bigger than the other side over here, then this angle across from the longer side is bigger than the angle across from the smaller side. So this angle here is greater than this angle here, because this angle here is across from the larger side. Okay? All right, moving on to number 6. Number 6. Okay, we're dealing with AC and EG. All right, where's AC and EG? Okay, here's AC. And here's EG. So what do we know about AC and EG? It's either greater than, less than, or equal to. So here we go. Let's figure this out. Okay, notice this. 16 here. Okay, 16 here. 14 here. 14 here. 32 degrees here. 32 degrees here. So here's what we have, guys. Look what we have. I'm going to slide this out. We have two triangles here. Okay. This length is 16, this length is 16. So they're congruent. Mark, mark. This is 14, this is 14. So 2 marks, 2 marks. This angle here is 32, and this angle here is 32. So congruent. So 1 mark, 1 mark. We have side angle side of one triangle congruent to side angle side of another triangle. So these two triangles are what? They're congruent. So if they're congruent, then that means AC right here has to be congruent to this side over here. So they are equal. Okay? Equal. All right, moving on here. My eraser will work. Hopefully it will. Oh, I'm losing it here. Okay, guys, I'm back. My computer kind of crashed there. So anyways, that was greater than, and this was equal to. Okay, number 7. AB and FG. Well, here's AB. Here's FG. What can we learn about these two sides here? Well, let's see. Look at this, guys. Look, we have 16 here. 16 here. We have 16 here. And we have 16 here. This is 100 right here. And this is 116. So I'm going to pull this off the side here, off to the side. Now, they want to know something. They want to know, well, first of all, I know this side here is 16, and this is 16, and this is 16, and this is 16. Now, look, I have side, angle, side, angle, side. I have a side here congruent to a side. I have a side here congruent to a side. And look at the angles. This angle is bigger than this angle. So I know this side here is longer than this side over here. This side is shorter. Isn't my handwriting great? Now, so the FG is longer. So FG would be, get the green pin here, larger. So it would look like this. And that is the correct answer. Okay, moving on to number 8. Okay, moving on to number 8 still. Okay, angle BDE. So BDE, right here, B to D to E, and angle CDF. So this here to D to F. Now look at these two triangles carefully, guys, please. Okay, look. Let's think this through. First of all, I'm going to go like this, and like this, and like this. Then I'm going to go like this, this, and this. Now, watch this. See this length here is 14? Put a line here. This side here is 14, put a mark here. See how this length here is 16? Put 2 marks. See how this length here is 16? Put 2 marks. Now the only thing we have to do is find this angle here and this angle here, and then we can figure out, no, I'm sorry, that's not correct. We can, yes, that's exactly right. We can very easily compare these two angles. Look, this is a straight line. This is a straight line, guys. I've got 116 and 32. Add them together, 148. So this here has to be 32. Has to be, because 32 plus 32 plus 116 is 180. Now I've got a straight line here. So I'm going to take this angle, and this angle, and this angle, and they should add up to 180. So 100 plus 32 is 132, minus that from 180, and you get 48 degrees. So this angle here is 32. This angle here is 48. So this angle here is bigger than this angle here. BDE is bigger than CDF. So, greater than. Okay? Moving on. Number 9. I don't know why this thing is messing up today. Alright. Oops. Okay, here we go. Alright. AC and CF. Here's AC. Here's CF. Somewhere. There it is. Now, we just learned a second ago that this was what here? 32, right? We just learned that. So look what you have, guys. You have a triangle here. This is 16, and this is 14. Triangle here, 16. There we go. So, I forgot to put this in. This is, if you'll look back at the figure here, this angle here is also 32 degrees. See the 32 right there? So 32 degrees right here. So do you not see what I have? I have side, angle, side, congruent to side, angle, side. So this is, this segment here has to be congruent to this segment here. Because the two triangles are congruent. And if the two triangles are congruent, then all of their parts have to be congruent. So, AC is equal to CF. They're congruent. Okay, moving on to number 10 or 11. Okay, this is pretty tough, so pay attention, okay? This will not be easy. Okay, AB is congruent to BC, so I'll put a mark here. Put a mark here. Angle 1's bigger than angle 2. So angle 1 here, we're going to call it, I don't know, 40 degrees. And we'll call this 30 degrees. There we go. Now guys, look. We have side, angle, side. Let me show it to you like this. We have a triangle here. And a triangle here. Now they share a side. So we know we have a side congruent to a side. We know we have a side here congruent to a side. So if this angle's bigger here than this angle here, then go straight across. AE has to be bigger than EC. So there we go. AE bigger than EC has to be D. Okay? All right, moving on to number 12. Okay, here we go. Number 12. AE is bigger than EC. So we're going to say this has a length of 8. And this has a length of 4. Just got to help us remember that, okay? AD equals CD. So AD is congruent to CD. Now please look at these two triangles, students. Please watch carefully, okay? Here's one triangle right here. Okay? Here's the other triangle here. Okay? Now look. This is a 4. This is an 8. Now watch this carefully. Notice I have side congruent to its side, and they share a side, so I have this side congruent to itself. So I have side angle side and side angle side. Now remember, if you have two sides of a triangle congruent to two sides of another triangle, if the third side is bigger than the other third side, then the angle across from the longer side is bigger than the angle across from the smaller side. So this angle here, I'm going to put a little dot here, is bigger than this angle here with two dots. Okay? So we're talking about angle ADE. Where's angle? We have a number here, angle 7. So angle 7 is greater than angle 8. Here's angle 7. Here's angle 8. 7 is greater than 8. So we know letter A is true. Letter A. Okay? All right, moving on to number 13. Let's see, measure of angle 9 is less than 10. So we're going to put, I don't know, we'll put 80 degrees here and 100 degrees here. How's that? 100 degrees, okay? Now, BE is congruent to ED. So this is congruent to this. So look what you have, guys. You got a triangle here. And a triangle here. They're sharing a side. Does everybody see the side that they're sharing? They're sharing this side here. So I have two sides of one triangle congruent to two sides of another triangle, and look at their included angles. This angle is bigger than this angle, so go straight across. AD has to be bigger than AB. So AD has to be bigger than AB. Here it is right here. AD bigger than AB. Okay, here we go. Now number 14 is, I thought was pretty tough myself, but maybe you guys will think it's easy, I don't know. And maybe there's more than one way to do it. AB equals BC. So here we go. AB equals BC. Okay? AD equals CD. Now here's what I did. Watch this carefully. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw a line straight through here and forget everything else. Okay? Now watch this. I can do that. There. Now if I draw a straight line between B and D, I now have two congruent triangles, do I not? Sure I do. I have side, side, well, they're sharing a side. They're sharing this side here. So I have side, side, side of my top triangle congruent to side, side, side of my bottom triangle. So these two triangles are congruent. Well, if they're congruent, then all of the parts are congruent. So this angle up here has to be congruent to this angle down here, right? And what is this angle up here? It's 3 plus 4. What is this angle down here? It's 5 plus 6. So look, 3 plus 4 equals 5 plus 6. There you go. All right, C. All right, moving on. Number 15. All right, now please look carefully, students. Okay, I have a side congruent to a side of a triangle. Let me put it this way. I have two sides of this triangle here congruent to two sides of this triangle over here. And look at the included angle. One is 20 and one is 18. So go straight across. 20 is the bigger angle than 18, so go straight across. AB has to be bigger than, go straight across, BC. AD, or AB, excuse me, AB from here to here has to be bigger than BC. Has to be. So, greater than. Okay, moving on to number 16. Okay, once again, guys, look, we have two sides of each triangle congruent. Okay, here's one triangle here. Here's the other triangle over here. Okay, so we have two sides of the green triangle congruent to two sides of the red triangle. And look at the included angles. This angle here is 45, and this angle here is 44. This angle is bigger down here, so TU has to be bigger than SV. TU has to be bigger than or greater than SV. Okay, so there we go, greater than. And moving on, number 17. Guys, it's really becoming redundant, but it's okay. This triangle here, I'm going to try something different on this one. Maybe make it a little easier for y'all to see. Most of you are probably seeing it okay anyways, but just in case, that's not going to help. No siree. All right, here we go. That's not good at all, but that'll work. Okay, so we know this triangle here. This is an 8. This is angle 1. This is angle 2. And this is 9. This is congruent to this. And then they share a side right here. So we know this is congruent to this. So look what I have, guys. I have two sides of a triangle congruent to two sides of a triangle. And look, the third side here is bigger than the third side here. So that means this angle here is 1 is bigger than angle 2. So 1 is greater than angle 2. Okay? Alright, number 18. Here we go. Alright, let's go like this. Wow, that's really good. We have 2 marks here, so 2 marks here, 2 marks here, so 2 marks here, 1 mark here, 1 mark here. Oh, and this side here is congruent to the side here because they share a common side. Guys, you got congruent triangles. You've got side, side, side. When 3 sides of one triangle are congruent to 3 sides of another triangle, the 2 triangles are congruent. So you have side, side, side. So what do we know about angle 1 here and angle 2 here? They're congruent. They're equal because if 2 triangles are congruent, then all of their corresponding parts are congruent. So angle 1 equals angle 2. Okay, moving on to number 30. Number 30. Okay, the directions say to use the inequality to describe a restriction on the value of x as determined by the hinge theorem, or its converse. Okay, here we go. Oh, let's see what we got here. We have a side here congruent to a side here. They're both 8. Okay, so mark here and mark here. Look at this. They share a side. These 2 triangles share a side, so we know this side here is congruent to itself. So here's what we have. We have 2 sides of one triangle congruent to 2 sides of another triangle, and look at their included angle. This angle here is larger than this angle here. So that means x has to be larger than 9. So what statement can you make? It's easy. X is larger than 9. That's it. X is greater than 9. Okay? Alright. Number 31. Okay, a little more difficult now. Let's see what we have here. We have, let's see here. This side here is congruent to this side here. Okay? So put a mark here and a mark here. and they share a side here. So this side here is congruent to this side here. Okay? So please listen to me carefully, students, what we have here, okay? We have two sides of one triangle congruent to two sides of another triangle. Got it? And look at the included angle. One included angle between these two sides is 45. And one included angle between these two sides is 115. So we know that 3x plus 1 has to be bigger than or greater than this side over here, x plus 3. And now solve for x. So bring your x over, make it a negative x. Bring your 1 over, make it a negative 1. 3x minus x is 2x. Bring down your greater than. 3 minus 1 is 2. Now divide both sides by 2. Now you do not turn the arrow, students. You only turn the arrow when you multiply or divide by a negative number, and we're dividing by a positive number. So x is greater than 2. 1. Okay? There we go. Okay, number 32. All right, well, it's hard to see. This is a 2 right here. Okay, there we go. So we have this side here, put a mark, is congruent to this side here. Okay, put a mark. And we have this side here, congruent to itself. So we have two sides of this triangle up here, congruent to two sides of this triangle down here. And look at the third side. The third side is 4 for this triangle. The third side for this triangle down here is 2. 4 is bigger than 2. So this angle here, 65, has to be what? Greater than this angle here, which is 4x minus 5. So there we go. Bring the 5 over and make it a positive 5. Now we have 70 is greater than 4x. Now divide both sides by 4, and you should get, let's see, 13720.5. There you go. Now students, I want to make sure you know how to read these correctly. When you have your final answer, if you were to read that out loud, you would not say 17.5 is greater than x. Whenever you have your final answer, you read an inequality by starting with the variable. So it will be x is less than 17.5. That's how you would read that, okay? Not that big of a deal, but I just want you to do things properly and right, okay? Okay, moving on to the last one, number 33. And here we go. All right. This segment here, 6, is congruent to the segment here. Okay? There we go. And this side here is congruent to this side, is congruent to itself. So students, please look for this triangle here. For this triangle right here, I have two sides that are congruent to two sides of this triangle. Okay, now look at the third side. Here's the third side right here, 8. And look at this third side over here for the top triangle, 10. 10 is greater than 8. 10 is longer than 8. So this angle here has to be bigger than this angle here. So this angle here is 3x plus 6. It has to be greater than this angle here, which is 90. This angle here is 90 degrees. So here we go. Bring the 6 over, make it a negative 6. So we're left with 3x is greater than 84. Now divide by 3. And x is greater than 28. Okay? X is greater than 28. Okay? And that's it, guys. I hope this homework video has been a help to you guys. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call or email.